Hey, good evening. I certainly hope and pray that all is well. So I'm not gonna be on here long. I don't plan to be. It's just a brief talk. So, I'm here in Cleveland, Ohio, and I've been wanting to talk about this for a minute. So I have found that obviously somebody's listening to me because, like I said before, what was it? I was doing some lives on here for a minute, and I said the word. I started using the word comeuppance. Okay. Next thing I know, I'm in a library where there's a theater, and there's a sign for a play, a two person play called The Comeuppance. It started the day after my dad's birthday, which was March 25th, ends on April 4th, which is my birthday. I said, oh, isn't that interesting? Well, after I talked about it on here and I kind of mentioned it on my other channel, and then I go back in the library, guess what? The sign was gone. Moved the stuff was there. There was some stuff there to still show that it was coming, but the whole display for the play was just completely taken down. Well, yeah, right. They never take the shit down. Okay, for the plays. Okay, that's there. Okay, at that theater, but it was taken down. So I did a talk on here. I think it was last summer about the Hope Memorial Bridge, where they have the Guardian statues. It's two, four. It's eight. Was it eight? Two, four, six, eight. Eight of them. Did a long live on it, did a reading on it and everything. I go back to look at the reading and the live on it. They cut it down like 5 minutes. Okay. And then there was signs billboards everywhere of one of the one of the guardians with the sign that said always protecting you. I mentioned that. Now those are gone. I said, well, somebody's listening to my fucking ass. Because every time I talk about some shit on here, because, as far as the city is concerned, the shit it disappears or there's a change in some way. So the other day was so funny. There was this little carry-out restaurant I went to one time, soul food joint, right? And I'm kind of leery about some of the food, the soul food, because it's just a lot of these places is just like it's not good. They're not seasoning the food. The cooks is drunk. I don't know what the fuck is going on, but the food's not good. So I went to this one place on Christmas, and I think it was Christmas. Yeah, I think it was one of them holidays. Shit. And I said, around the holiday time, I'm gonna try it here. And I go in. I'm talking to the guy. Him and his wife. They owned it. They were very young. And I was like, listen, I don't want no bad food. A lot of the soul food is just ain't what it used to be, et cetera, et cetera. No, it's good. It's good. I promise it's good. Okay, so I got some. It was good. It was very good. But it's so funny. I was talking to somebody one day. We was talking about the state of the soul food in the city and some of the places that are closing. Like, but y'all that are familiar, Open Pit closed. Like, I can't believe Open Pit closed. Whatever. Not all of them have closed, but a lot of them are just gone. You never could have told me we'd have a Cleveland, Ohio without a hot sauce Williams, okay? But anyway, I told him, I said, the food was good, but it was bougie. It was some bougie shit. It wasn't like grandma and them, stuck their foot in it like back. And there was some bougie. I mean, the little parsley flakes on the barbecue. I mean, on the wings with the barbecue sauce. I said, oh, that's cute. And I said it was good. It just didn't taste like grandma and them. And the lady I was talking to, she was like, yeah, I know what you're talking about, And I said, it's like it was bougie. This same place, right? Because I was telling the guy and the owner, I was like, I really hope that you all last, because so many places, young black people here, they start these businesses and they don't last, a few years and whatever, and then they're gone. So I passed the place the other day, and I'm thinking about it. I said, I hope they're there. I'm on my way headed toward. I said, I hope they're still there. And I look over. I said, that ain't the same place. They're gone. I mean, just like that. But the name of the place had the title. It was a food place. That place is always a food place. I don't know how many businesses have been there, but it's always a food place. Oh yeah, they got a big kitchen in the back and everything. And I said the name of the place. I ain't gonna say the name of the place, but bougie was in the title, in the name. And I just looked. First, I said, okay, maybe I'll try it one day. And then it hit me. And then I just started laughing. I said, isn't this something? I said, I guess, you know, the powers that be, the man or whatever, they be listening to your private conversations, because some stuff is just too much of a coincidence. Okay, it's just not all the time. Come on now. So I've been wanting, what I'm gonna talk about tonight, I've been wanting to talk about for a while, but I just haven't taken the time. All winter long, but I just haven't taken time to do it. But when I saw that the other day, I was like, okay, let me say something. And then I was listening to someone tonight who was talking about the state of the world and the what we're going into, which sounds, like a dystopia ain't the word. Okay, I will share her. A lot of times I say I'm gonna share a video or whatever on my community tab, and I don't. And I end up doing it, not sharing it, not because I forget, most of the time on purpose, because whatever, because I really don't believe that the people that are watching my channel are maybe some average, just your average Joe, you just watching it, but there are other people watching my channel. Okay, so nevertheless, and then some of the ones that's watching just to troll or whatever, just to be assholes, not taking life seriously one way or the other. So anyway, but this one I will share. And what she was saying in it is that we all have to play a part. We all have to play a role, to help. Not everyone's gone. We are, even me, and I'm watching it right here on my other device, right here, but it says 0. So I said, but we all have to. She was saying we all have to play a role in some way, shape, or form in. Basically combating, the seriousness of the realm that they powers that be, and that she did use that terminology, are taking us into. So, I'm like, is she meant on a worldwide scale or just period, about things that are not right? I think she just meant just period about things that are not right, So I'm going to set something like this as far as my city is concerned. I'd like to know what the fuck is happening with the roads. Seriously. Now, ever since I can remember, people have always complained about the roads here. Always. Bumpy, potholes, all types, always. Especially, like it usually kind of hits after the wintertime, and we get these huge potholes and whatnot. I remember one girl that I went to high school with, when I used to be on Facebook way back in the day, and she was talking about how she got a flat tire tire got all fucked up and whatnot from hitting a pothole, and the city wouldn't, compensate or anything, which I thought was ridiculous and horrendous that they wouldn't, And, people used to always say that it was because of the salt, and I'm like, okay, I've lived in some other cities. I've talked about that. I don't know if I've ever experienced bad roads the way I have here in this city. And it just seems like this year it's worse. It used to be like definitely East Cleveland, which I'm going to talk about that. Cleveland, okay, but some of the other suburbs I'm seeing, not little holes here and there, like huge just chunks of the road just gone. Areas that typically those areas they would take care of the roads. Now I don't know if it's a money thing or whatnot. I just like certain areas. No, you have the money. Your city has the money. I don't give a fuck what you say to fix the roads. And then I would hear people say that it was they use cheap material. So it's like it happens every year. They just kind of fill it in with cheap materials only for it to really not that same hole be there, but it be worse. It's like Some areas, like I said, that before it always was kind of bumpy, but now it's like areas where you didn't see it before. It's just like fucking everywhere. I mean, like east side, west side, north side, south. I mean, it's all over the fuck. It's all suburbs everywhere. And I'm like, well, I don't understand, what's happening here. Something is happening. Now that may sound silly and minor to some people, but it's really not, because people they get in their cars that they pay for, and they have to travel from one location to another. You want them to get to work. You want them to work. You know, you go on these job. I went on a job interview a couple years ago. What do I'm trying to do the interview and everything, the proper way. Do you have any questions? I'm like, yes. What are you all looking for, in a employee? What are you looking? Someone who comes to work. That was their answer. It was like 8 people in the room. Someone who comes to work. So you want people to work. You want people to work to keep the city running, but you don't. I mean, like, fix the fucking roads. I don't understand. Okay, so like, why aren't you fixing the roads? But you're doing a hell of a lot of work all over the fucking city. You done cut off the whole. Thank God this winter we was able to get through. You know, um, over there by Cleveland Clinic on, what is that, on Cedar? No, that wasn't Cedar. That's not Cedar. That's Carnegie. Okay. All right. But you done put the shit back up. The weather done broke. You done put the shit back up. So people have to fight to try to get through there. Okay, whatever work you're doing, fine. Okay. You building condos and shit all over the place. I don't know why. Okay. Obviously you're trying to bring people into the city, for revenue and all of that type of thing. But I still don't know what the draw would be. Okay. Because it's not yet, like, it still ain't no Chicago or even in New York for that matter, or a DC or anything like that. But okay, you know, you got the medical industry here, which is huge, and I guess the tech, AI and all that type of shit. And I wonder, I was talking to a young girl the other day, and she mentioned the data centers and whatnot, and how they, are going to destroy the environment, and siphon all the water from people who actually need it, human beings. And I said to myself, and she said, and the thing about it is that people are upset about is that they're putting them in, black areas where there are more black people. So, took the food away from the black people. Well, or whatever, them little grocery, some of them have grocery stores and some of them don't. At the food desert, you did that a long time ago. And now you're setting it up where you're putting the data centers in there, and to take water away from, humanity for some AI shit. And, okay, and putting it in black areas to fuck them up all the more. Okay. Well, I did a talk on here about East Cleveland, and a little what was, I did a reading, and I had a vision right at the end, and I said, I'm just seeing buildings like on a certain area. I think it was Eddie. Well, I know it was Eddie Road and Euclid, where the McDonald's is, by Forest Hill, and I just saw buildings, 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 and I said maybe they're gonna change it to make it, I don't know, some kind of business center. And I said maybe that's what I saw, data centers, because East Cleveland is a black area. So the other day, Hayden is ridiculous. I don't understand. Now, I don't know if it's true or not. I was going to look it up, but I haven't. But, someone said that the city of Cleveland took over the city of East Cleveland about 3 or 4 months ago. I haven't heard that or anything, but that doesn't mean anything just because I haven't heard it or I haven't seen it, because, how secretive, you know, governments and whatnot work. They just do the shit without telling you, okay? And then they'll tell you like 10 years later when they decide they're about to implement their shit. Well, they've already been implementing when they want to make it public. And ain't shit you can do about it, but just, you know, roll with the punches. I mean, Hayden, I mean, what is that? I'm not just hating the road. It's like, who can drive through there? It's like literally like the street is like a fucking war zone. Like bombs just done went off in it, like terrorists. So I don't, well, no, 133rd. So I'm on 133rd from, I don't know the name of that little side street there, but by the bridge. I turn where all the apartments used to be. There's still some there, but I think quite a few of them were torn down. And there's a big, huge light pole in the middle of the fucking road. And I was like, what the fuck is this? I mean, I was able to get around, but I was like, what the fuck is this? Fuck is this shit? Okay. I said, this can't be the light fucking pole. This can't be the light pole in the road. And I'm looking, and it's the light pole. Not the wooden ones. Whatever the other material is, the steel, or whatever that is. So I'm driving real, slow and calculated and shit, because I don't want to get mess up my car, my tires, and all of that type of thing. And I'm looking out my window at the same time, like, how the fuck did that happen? And I looked at the bottom of it, and it was clean at the bottom. Okay, it was a clean, like, not like a break, but because obviously it wasn't a break. And then I see a little dent in it, and I said, now ain't no way in hell. There's no way in hell that a car knocked that down, and it to the point where it is unattached from whatever it was attached to that was holding it up in the ground. Impossible. Especially these little cheap ass cars they make nowadays. Even if it was like a real car from, like, the 70s and shit, where it was, it's durable. It couldn't knock that down. Not like that. And it could push it back, but those things that would destroy a car running into it. Your car be fucking totaled. And a little bend that was in it, I'm like, what is this? What's the bend from? Because it ain't from no fucking car. No car hit that pulled that, took that up out of its attachment in the ground and knocked it down on the road. That is not possible. Who the fuck came through there? I mean, that's like industrial shit. None of the black folks in there that you want to blame for the destruction of East Cleveland. Nobody there, none of the residents have any kind of tools to take the light pole and untwist whatever them huge ass screws are, bend it, and throw it on the ground. I don't know, whatever gangs, whatever's through there. No, they didn't. And just leave it there. The fuck are y'all doing? Okay. So it's like I'm driving through there. I look down one street. There is a house. This is not speaking to whoever owns the house or whoever is the resident of the house. Whoever lives there. I'm not talking as far as that person is concerned. I mean, it looked like a dump. Now, there is a house through there off one of them streets, and I don't think it was the same person. The lady there has accumulated a lot of stuff, and it's been there for years. It's been like that for years. I don't think that was the same place. I could not believe my fucking eyes. Then you go on Terrace. You know what that's like. Okay. That's literally a war zone. You see what they've done to the apartments and whatnot there. They done blocked off parts of Terrace. You can't drive through there. It's not dry, and it's been like that for how many years? And then the one apartment, you go down the hill, which leads to I can't even think of the name of the apartment, but it leads to the entrance, the East Cleveland entrance to Forest Hill, and it is literally a garbage dump. It's just garbage everywhere. But residents live in that building. And then you done blocked off the entrance to Forest Hill Park. Who knows what East Cleveland side looked like now? I haven't been there in years. But who knows what it looks like now? I mean, you can just drive through there, East Cleveland, and get just very angry. There's all kind of videos on this app on YouTube about how dangerous East Cleveland is. But you're not going to tell me that it's just the black people in East Cleveland that did that. That's not how that works. But in the midst of all of that, hold on, let me see something real quick. You're not going to tell me okay, that okay, that in the midst of all of that, in the midst of all of that, and I ain't really even talked about much of anything, that you got a store that's been there since 1959 with some valuable shit in it, and it hasn't been touched. Just not touched. It's just nothing but glass. It looks the exact same way it did ever since I can remember, because I was raised in East Cleveland till I was 11 years old in the 70s. And it haven't been, nobody's touched it. Nobody's thought to steal anything up out of there or all that valuable shit in there. I mean, it's a fucking, it's like this is a health hazard. I just can't believe. Now, when I was living in my grandmother's house, I lived about 2 blocks over from East Cleveland, under the bridge in Cleveland. 1 street over from Arlington. So I had to go through East Cleveland a lot in the 11 years that I lived there. I mean, of course, I hated going through there, but goddamn, it wasn't as bad as it is now. It just seems like in the last maybe 3-4 years, I mean, it was bad. Don't get me wrong, but it just seems like in the last 3-4 years, like it is really gone down fast. Much, much worse than it was when I first moved back over there on Edmonton. So it's just like, and then the poor residents that live there. I have to live in that. You're not going to tell me that every single mayor that's been in office back to back to back to back to back to back to back for at least 20 years. I mean, I haven't kept up that much with it. Just every single one of them just go in and just steal from the city. Every single one. And I'm not going to say what I really think, because, you know, I don't want nobody coming after me. But apparently you're listening to me. You know, because that's talk about things, and then I look up, and when I'm talking about, you done changed it, you done did something different to it, you done took the billboards down, you done took the play sign down, you done changed the name of the restaurant to Bougie, whatever. So apparently you're listening. I mean, can you fix the fucking roads at least? Can you do that much? Seriously? So that the people who do live in this city and who do work, you have an expectation. I know that the goal is to make everyone slavers and to turn this into some like Hunger Games dystopia. I understand that. And you have an expectation that we all just sit here on these apps and just scroll all day and all night long and not give a fuck about shit. But there are people who do. And how best word I can think of is unfair for you to have an expectation of them to keep this city running by working and so on and so forth and obeying your laws and blah, 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 this, that, and other. But you don't even make the city livable. You don't even make it drivable. At least can you fix the roads? All of them? Can y'all do that? so people don't tear up their shit that they work hard for. Because let them miss a payment, goddamn, you motherfuckers got the trackers on the goddamn cars, and you're gonna come take the shit away from their fucking asses. You got ride share people out there trying to make a living or whatever the fuck. Can you at least fix the fucking roads? Can you go get that fucking steel pole or whatever the fuck that is? Who you fuck you think you're fooling, and take that shit up off the street so the children that still live there and even the grown people that still live there don't have to walk through that shit and fall over and damn near kill themselves? I know the goal is to wipe out all the black people in East Cleveland and get them the fuck out. I know that. We know that. The residents there are well aware. They're not stupid like people want to think that they are because they black. They just niggas. I mean, we understand, how, folks got pissed when they had to open up East Cleveland, let the black people in there. And you all just decided, well, we just gonna let it go to shit. Systematically. And then blame it on them and say it's the black people who did it. Well, I mean, how much history do we need? We know that shit is some bullshit. People don't wrote books on it. They done did lectures on it. They done did videos on it. They done did all the research. We know that narrative is bullshit. I don't have to go through here and lay it all out. People know. Folks is well aware. Can you get the pole up off the motherfucking street? At least, as far as these things, can you do that? Can somebody go through there and get that garbage up off of where those residents live in that fucking building on Terrace, that on the hill, on the hill? You go through there, it's shit. Oh my God, you drive through there, which ain't nothing but potholes too. That's another one y'all can fix. I don't give a fuck about. But owners, no. Can y'all go through there? Can y'all go through there and get the garbage? Oh, or is the goal for the people to get sick? That's one of the ways in which you're going to get rid of them and wipe them up out of East Cleveland so they can get sick and die off. It's a fucking shame. That's not all that garbage through there. Some of that is residents, but some of it's not. Let's be for real. And like I said, this shit, people have been talking about this shit for about 40, 50 years now. The systematic, whatever shit that has already, I mean, like, it's not a mystery no more. So quit trying to act like it is and quit trying to act like people don't. People know. The residents know. I've talked to some of the residents myself. They know what has been done and what's purposely being done. And there's nothing wrong with them living there. What's wrong is that, that you would allow that you would do them that fucking dirty and that low down and take the pole. I mean, the steel pole. I just couldn't believe it. I said, who the fuck took this up out of the fucking ground? It's not a car that run into this. Like I said, they would destroy a car and barely move. It's up out of the whatever was holding it down. It's up. It's been taking up out and then just, who did that? Lifted. How heavy is it? With a little bend. I'm like, what is a little bend supposed to say? A car hit it or something like that? Is that what they're trying to convey? They think people are stupid. And I had somebody with me, and she looking at it. She like, girl, I know. I said, didn't no car hit? She like, I know. You should trust me. I know. So it ain't just, people know what you're doing. Can you we're all over the city. Can y'all fix the roads, please? Okay. Watch me see a sign somewhere that say, Cleveland is fixing their roads or some shit like that. Can you fix the fucking roads? Okay. With good material instead of the cheap shit just because you want to save money. Fuck the residents, but get your ass to work and keep this city running and be hometown proud. Okay? I am. That's why I'm doing this. All right? That's all I have to say. Is it? You know? I mean, I just don't understand, just driving around and looking around. It's not just East Cleveland. It's not just parts of Cleveland. It's like even the suburbs, just empty shit everywhere. Just like, and then you look at the history of Cleveland, it's like, what the fuck happened here? Business is just gone, just empty buildings just sitting there. I'm sure there's a lot more to it than what I know, I guess, what I'm saying. But it's a beautiful city. Cleveland was it still is in a lot of ways. It's still a very beautiful city here, especially in the summertime. It's gorgeous here in the summertime. The lake and everything is beautiful, but it's also a spirit of just run down, torn up trash. And like, why? Maybe somebody can email me and help me understand. Okay. All right. That's it. You all have favor. Peace.